Are Africa ancestors demonic? Listen to the end part 1.
Back. Then I was moving from country to country asking, what does Chevron mean? The fellows had no clue at all. And my ancestors had told me. The very ancestors, if you mention ancestors, you are then seen to be very primitive, very demonic. Why dream? Because ancestors communicate with us through dreams. And I've always said, when it is Joseph dreaming in Egypt for the pharaohs, and it's written in the Bible, oh, it's hallelujah chorus. They love that. But when it's me, it's demon. Then I say, but if your grandfather was a demon, you are a demon too. It's as simple as that. A frog begets a frog. A lizard begets a lizard. So if you say we are our ancestors are demons and they beget us, so we are demons. You can't see that. These are Africans, heavily brainwashed. That's the tragedy of it.
What is your view on Pan-Africanism?
Pan-Africanism has to be clarified. If you push the political agenda and end there, you go nowhere. It is not politics that ought to be uniting us. We are united even before politics. It is Pan-African view of the world. I am, so we are. That togetherness, that spirit of being together. I think somebody sent me some few sayings which I thought sound great to me. On alone, I smile. Together, we laugh. I said, sounds great. Alone, I say. Together, we talk. Alone, I enjoy. Together, we celebrate. There were 3. I said, that's African. That's what Pan-African, not a shared blackness, a shared residence on the same continent means nothing. That means nothing. But how we are a people who are conservation conscious. But today they will tell you, yeah, doing this. No. We are conservation conscious because of our spirituality. Our spirituality says we are related to trees, we are related to all animals, and we thrive on them. Our sustenance is guaranteed by the environment, and environment with the plants. So water becomes critical, rain becomes critical, and we have dances that sort of induce rains to fall. Without rain, if for 5 years, 5 consecutive years, there's no rain, there will be no life. It's as simple as all that. It's as simple as 5 years, no rains. Mother Earth is the source of sustenance. Our own mothers must be breastfed by this Mother Earth, who is female, by the way. And that's what Africa knows. Whether you are in Nigeria, the Akan, you are the Dogon in Mali, you all know this is Mother Earth. And we respect mothers. You see, people have been made to believe science is not culture. It can't be anything else. It is culture, because science is not natural.
But when you see an African commanding rain, we think it's evil.
Yes, that is what the Africans believe. Last week, I was at Njelele, the hill that you see there. That's our fertility shrine. This is where last week we were recording the goings on there. Because there's an African lady in the United States who wants to show her fellow students and lecturers that in Africa we have ways of inducing rain. The problem comes when people think everything African has to rely on medicine, for example. No, for us it's symbolism, symbolic manipulation. It's critically important for us to understand here is a certain condition. You reproduce that condition elsewhere. You symbolically manipulate. You are Africans. There was a time when he was reminding me, and I'll still do it. to understand what I term ancient African science. This is where witchcraft belongs. I thought I was going to research witchcraft. Then I realized, no, I'm not right. What the witches are making use of is a very ancient science, which has been denigrated. We are told, and you read on internet, a witch has been grounded because there were some anti-ballistic missiles that were meant to bring down this witch. But for me, unfortunately, I have a science background. I know this book will not lift itself without energy.
Yeah.
It will never happen. But here are witches flying, a number of them, on a winnowing basket.
Yeah.
No, not a broom like whites do. For us, it's a winnowing basket in this part of the world. Then I say, why don't our universities investigate that energy? They are busy condemning this witchcraft. Then I said, okay, you remove the witch and remain with the craft to study it. Don't tell us about witchcraft. Deal with the craft on its own, the science. Where is that energy coming from? We need energy. This is why Boko Haram being sponsored by people there too. It's because of critical resources that I have. If you look at all areas of conflict in Africa, I always say, look under the feet. What's there? That's the answer. Under the feet, there is oil. If suddenly our cars were not to use oil, the politics would change dramatically. You won't even have the Boko Haram and some other funny group there who are sponsored by the very people who condemn them. Money has bought their bought with money. But the important thing is, conflict is induced by people who wanted resources, enslaved the African for over 400 years. They still want those resources. They will give you other reasons, but it will be tantamount to getting the same resources that they've all. Politics is driven by resources because they are not infinite. Resources are finite. And Africa has too many of them. And Africa will have too many problems. When Africa says we've discovered oil in Zimbabwe, for me it's not something to be happy about. No, it means there will be conflict now because they will want that oil.
That doesn't mean that the abundance of resources that we have in Africa is also a curse to Africans?
Correct. That's what is happening. It is. But Africa needs to make you... you see, we have gifts. I believe the white man is very mechanical, he's concrete, he's physical, he's material. In that regard, it's difficult to beat him. But what has happened, our gift has been demonized. Our gift is spirituality. You can hit a fellow now who is in Britain. And we have always been wireless. They are discovering this wireless recently. It's something new in the Western world. But we have always been doing it through incantation, through the spoken word, through verse. We send a spell. And that spell is wireless. So that is the ancient African science that I want to do before I join my ancestors. That to me is very important. How are we able to do that?
I want to know your definition for